Welcome to Deepening Your Path with Priestess Erica. I'm glad that you're here with me today because we are about to dive into understanding your demons and learning how to take back your power through a practice I like to call shadow dancing. In this episode, I'm going to talk to you about the 7 deadly sins, which are forces not to be feared, but rather energies that show up in our life as we evolve. And they help us, right? They become a companion. So this conversation will walk you through how these demons appear, how they relate to each other, and how they move with us as we grow through childhood, adolescence, and into adulthood. And I'll discuss how to recognize them, work with them, and ultimately regain control over your life. All right, let's start. Let's start with envy. She is who I refer to as the Queen of Demons. She often makes her appearance first as we are a child. When we are in our childhood, she appears because we begin to compare ourselves to others, and we begin to want and have desires. So whether it's toys, attention, or love as a kid, we look at others and we feel this desire and it grows. And that's where envy creeps in. She stirs up this discontent within us and creates a need to measure ourselves against others. But envy does not work alone. Pride is her king. Pride quickly follows and arises within you as food for envy. They feed each other, and jealousy is breakfast. Okay, so pride arises when we feed envy, the desire to strive and obtain things that we don't necessarily need to fulfill the sense of comparison. So together they create a dynamic duo where we build up our ego to protect ourselves. We learn how to get what we want, and it all comes from this feeling of inadequacy that initially sparked with envy. So as we grow into adolescence, we meet the energy of lust and wrath. This is a time of emotional and physical change where our desires begin to evolve and our ability to control them is still developing. Lust emerges as a craving, not just for physical connection, but also for validation, attention, and love in all its forms. And when those needs don't get met, wrath shows up, often in the form of anger, rage, frustration. These two demons work together. They work in tandem to shake things up in our emotional foundation, often causing outbursts and impulsive decisions when we're unable to process the intensity of what we are feeling. So as we move into adulthood, you see, we often encounter greed because after adolescence, we begin to understand how to get what we want. And so greed pushes us to accumulate more success, more wealth, more validation. But as we pursue these desires, gluttony sneaks in, and we don't even know. We don't even realize, because at this point, we don't even know how to set limits for ourselves in a healthy way. So we allow our cravings to take over, and gluttony fills that void by overindulging, just bringing in more, striving for more. And whether it's with material possession or food or even emotional energy or relationships with other people, this partnership between greed and gluttony is dangerous demonic energy, because at this point we start believing what we've collected defines our worth, and we continue to overconsume and begin to forget the importance of balance and moderation. So as we grow older, we meet sloth. it shows up typically in later life or during any period of burnout, really. Sloth is often misunderstood as laziness, doing nothing, but it's actually about stagnation. That feeling that comes from us moving forward or taking action is gone. It's what happens when we are burnt out and consumed, also consumed by the other sins. And we haven't taken the time to rest, reflect, heal. It's exhausting at this point. When sloth comes in, we can feel like we are stuck in a rut and we are drained of all energy and we lose all motivation. It's during this time that we need to step back and reassess and find our way back, because this is usually rock bottom for most people, because it has intentionally brought us here through our actions, and now we're just left to rot in that energy, in that demonic drain. So we have to recognize this and reclaim our power. The 7 deadly sins, envy, pride, lust, wrath, greed, gluttony, and sloth, are not inherently evil. They are a part of the human experience. They are serving a greater purpose than we can understand. And they show up at different stages in our lives to create challenge for us. The lesson is in recognizing them and understanding how they're working in our life. For instance, envy and pride lead us to compare and collect, while lust and wrath stir our emotional water. Greed and gluttony drive us to overconsume, and sloth pushes us into stagnation. But they're all serving a purpose. They are all here to push us towards growth. And when we learn to recognize these energies, we can begin to process and unravel. And this is when we can decide if they're working for us or against us. And that's when we're truly taking back our power. So I hope that you have enjoyed this audio, and I hope that you can take this from my heart, my perspective and experiences with these demonic forces, and how I've learned to unravel them and take back my power and see them for what they are, when they showed up in my life, and why. And so in the shadow dance itself, this is an opportunity to ask them what their purpose is. And you'll notice in this dance with these energies, as you begin to create a healthy relationship, providing for their needs in a way that is balanced and neutral, you'll notice that they begin to change. They start looking different, and you notice them rather than become them. And that is when you can say you have evolved and you are standing in your power. So thank you for joining me in this exploration of the 7 deadly sins and how they shape our journey. I hope this episode has deepened your path and has sparked some new awareness for you. And I encourage you to look further within. Notice where these energies are showing up for you right now, and ask yourself what the lessons are that they are bringing. And if you enjoyed this episode of Deepening Your Path with Erica Gray, please feel free to share your thoughts and subscribe for more discussions on shadow work, personal growth, and reclaiming our power. Love and magic, Priestess Erica.